What's going on, world? It's your boy Steve Dab 317 back with another reaction video. Now, some of you may already be familiar with this YouTube channel. It's titled Amazing Facts. It's the name of the channel. There will be a link down in the description, and it's just really an assortment of things. Well, one of the things I like to do when I get online is just kind of look, learn things, see things that are different, and this one, blah blah blah. See things that are different. This is one of the videos that caught my eye. It was titled, people. Basically, I'm assuming it's about people turning pallets into who knows what. But I'm very, very much into. I don't know. I like just seeing different ideas of resourcefulness. So I figured I'll check it out. So let's go to jump right into it. Audio, we're good. Pallet shed. Hmm. And there's the link right there. I'll still put it. Oh, this way. Sorry. I'll still put
I've
it in the
seen
description.
people turn pallets into cool things. But this is brilliant. After collecting pallets for a few months and letting them accumulate, he decided he had enough for the project at hand. His cats were going to be sad that their little play area was about to be turned into something amazing. He decided to put the shed on the side of his yard. There was a pretty good slope, so he had to dig deep down into the hard soil to make it an even surface for the footing. He ended up pulling out a ton of rocks too. He's not sure what to do with the rocks, but is thinking some sort of path might work out well. He started off with some concrete blocks that he found for free on Craigslist. That's quite the find and saved him a lot of cash too. The shed he had in mind was going to be 6x8x16. It is pretty big and it took a while to collect all of the concrete blocks he needed.
You say 6x8x16?
It is pretty big and it took a while to collect all of the 6x8x16, too.
Hold on.
The shed he had in mind was going to be 6x8x16.
Okay.
It is pretty big and it took a while to collect all of the concrete blocks he needed. He ended up creating the foundation by placing them in the dirt, then he mortared them together. He put rebar into the concrete blocks in the corners and the center to create some stability for the soon-to-be shed. Once the concrete blocks were laid down for the foundation, it was time to start screwing and bolting the pallets together. He decided that the bottom piece of the pallet should be bolted into the blocks. Once the corners were tied together, it was a lot more stable than he expected. He threw a tarp overhead because he was making this in the summer and the heat was just too much. He didn't want the shed to be too tall, so he decided to cut the upper pallets in half. This prevented his neighbors from having to look at his shed, and it keeps everything within reach when it's stored in there. Now that the walls are bolted into place and the upper pallets are secure, this shed is very sturdy. He was going to make the floor so it would be level with the ground, but they don't get much rain, so he decided.
I like the attention to detail and the symmetry that he used while building this. I mean, even the spacing on the outer. I mean, he could have cut the pallets anywhere, but I don't know. Small things like that matter to me for whatever reason.
Decided to keep it a little lower, giving him even more head clearance in the shed. Because he did have a few pallets left over, he decided to use them for the roof too. He went for a barn-style roof, mostly so the neighbors wouldn't have to see too much of the roof. Their house is lower on their property, so this was an ideal solution. Once the structure for the roof was set, he used the remaining pallets and broke them apart to create smaller slats to fill in the structure. This shed is really starting to take shape. He found some inexpensive siding at Home Depot and the shed started to look like something he paid quite a bit of money for. Luckily for him, all of his measurements were right on and the areas that required siding were flat, so this was a great way to add even more to this shed. He found some glass on Craigslist and decided to add windows to the shed to add some natural light. This is the view of the shed from the front yard. He tied the existing fence into the shed and the house to enclose the backyard fully. He has more plans for the front yard, so that's why he decided to leave it bare for now. He decided to put an angled tin roof on one side to give him some storage. This way it would catch the water runoff that they did receive on occasion and put it into a barrel. He ended up using a longer pallet he had for the door. He used a Craig tool to tie the boards together on the door. On the front side of the shed, he decided to use this for wood storage. He loves having a firewood handy for a good fire, and wanted somewhere to store it where it wouldn't get wet and
So some people may be looking at this thinking, why would he go through all this when he could have just purchased one? Saved a whole lot of time. And we'll just go with the assumption that money, for this individual, money is not an issue. But I think for individuals who work with their hands, like especially working with wood and things like that, I think a great deal of it is the satisfaction of actually building something and just putting something together, or taking something that was ordinarily trash or to be thrown away by other people, and like just repurposing it. And obviously from an environmental standpoint, great benefit to doing that as well. But this is a cool I don't think it's a project I would take on. But this is pretty dope.
rot away before being used. He found most of the wood on Craigslist and used some pallets that he still had left over. Now this shed is all stocked up and ready to go. He made shelves inside the shed using lumber he also found on Craigslist. In the end, he estimates that he spent about $500 total to make the IS-20X8 shed. That $500 went to things he couldn't find on Craigslist, like siding, shingles, mortar, and random fasteners that were needed.
Hmm. Yeah, cool. Cool video. This is one of those channels, and I don't know that I would do a ton of reaction videos to this channel, but this is just something that I enjoy doing in my spare time when I'm not checking out music. If you did watch this video, hey, I greatly appreciate it. More videos coming your way. But yeah, that's gonna be this. Blah 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 blah. That's like the second or third time I've done that in this video. Anyways, I'm sticking true to not editing these reaction videos, so it is what it is. Appreciate you being here. That's it for this one. Steve Dab 317, and I'm signing out. Peace.